8 minutes and 46 seconds. 8 minutes and 46 seconds. This is the length of time that former police officer Derek Chauvin had his knee against the neck of George Floyd. That's the amount of time it took to kill him.
Police brutality, excessive use of force, and unfair policing. It affects us all. But they affect the Black and Latin communities disproportionately more.
Black Lives Matter does not mean only Black Lives Matter. It just means Black Lives Matter too. Support the cause. It affects us all, and it helps us all. Here's how to help.
You can do so by peacefully protesting.
Write to your congressional member. There's a link down below on how you can find who your congressional member is. If this congressional member won't do their job, their sworn duty, vote for someone who will.
Donate to the American Civil Liberties Union, who has been fighting for civil rights for 100 years. Donate to the Black Lives Matter Global Network, a new organization gaining large momentum. There are 115 organizations that you can donate to help with related issues, such as posting bail, rebuilding communities, counseling support, and even more. Find an organization to support here.
Thank you. We're all in this together. Hello, welcome to another episode of Understand Nation. We've got a massive week full of soloists, and unfortunately we can't talk about all of them, but we're going to get through some of the ones that really stood out to us.
Not just soloists, just artists in general.
Yes. And a couple, maybe major groups.
Right?
Don't know. You know,
Maybe.
You may have heard of them. I might be talking about, T by T or TXT and Twice, But we'll go with our first topic. So this is JUNGKEE. He debuted as a soloist 2014. He was active from 2011 as a composer. He released 4 music videos this week.
Right.
And so it does seem like a lot. It absolutely is a lot. And I think part of that is because he had a back catalog of songs to release, because he didn't release anything at all for 2019. His last album release was in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
So we're only going to be talking about 2 of them. And so the first one up will be I Know. So, Nick, take us in.
Oh man, okay. So, I knew I was going to like it right off the bat. We have that piano intro that comes with the acoustic guitar. And we've talked about it before. I really love that kind of openness of an exposed music, musical composition. Honestly, I did not expect. So from the intro, he starts off with this really airy tone, and I didn't think he was going to be the type of person to have a lot of power in his voice.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Usually people that start off with that really airy tone and continue it even into their high notes and stuff, they can put a lot of power, but it's usually pretty straining for them. Just that now how the voice is a lot of the time. But later on, he clarifies his voice. He stops using all that air and starts giving it a little more power. And I was really surprised. I really liked it. This is my first time hearing JUNGKEE. Yeah. But I really, really enjoyed this song. This is probably one of my favorite releases that he put out this week, if not my favorite.
And for the rest of you who aren't familiar with JUNGKEE, so he's primarily like an R&B and soul singer, and this song is definitely got a whole lot of soul. In fact, a lot of these releases definitely have are more set into the soul kind of R&B. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I was sold. In fact, I loved all four of these releases, to include this one. I think between this and the other music video we're about to talk about, I love absolutely my favorite. Or between these two, the sheer amount of soul, right? That he kind of puts into his voice, like his emotion, his like it's there. You know, you're feeling it.
Right.
He's just reaching you,
Mm-hmm.
or at least for me, because I know Aura doesn't have a heart, so
Or a soul.
yeah.
Thanks.
And-
Thanks for throwing me under the heartless bus.
No problem. Anytime.
But you know, I was really thinking too, like, you know, just like maybe a month ago or a few weeks ago, like how I really wanted some more like R&B and soul in my life, and this guy is just hitting all the right notes, quite literally with these releases. And the music video too. It's I'm not gonna say like it's anything like super original, right? That it's anything like that will garner awards and whatnot, but it just feels so perfect for the mood that's being established by the song.
Right.
You know, oh man, I don't know. Like I can't remember the last time I felt like this much at a loss for words to talk about a song and an artist. I will say though, this is probably the quickest I've ever decided that I was going to buy an album. It's already in my shopping cart.
You've already found it?
Yeah.
Oh no,
Like,
I haven't even tried.
The only reason why I haven't pushed the button yet is because I'm waiting for Hayes' album to release, and then I'll order all those together.
I feel I'm right now. I'm waiting to see if WJSN, if I like their song, and then I'm probably gonna buy that album.
Oh my god, I almost forgot about them too.
Oh, you know what? All of mine are on pre-order. I don't care anymore.
So, I know I touched a bit on the music video. Can you kind of expound a bit more on that?
So this is something that Nick and I discussed before you came on. Well, we didn't discuss it. We lightly touched upon it, but Nick mentioned like how there's a lot of the same actors and actresses throughout all four music videos, and how it's a possible story. You know, there's a possible story, and all the imagery, all the and as you've said before, it's not very original, but if you kind of watch it in a sequence between I Know, Weekend, what was the one? I Know, Weekend.
I think it was I Know, Weekend, and Baby and My Dear.
My Dear.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm not entirely sure what the sequence of story it could be, but this very much shows the sequence where you're appreciating, or even if you're not in the relationship, or if you're kind of at the end where you can kind of still appreciate the relationship. Like it might have ended at a good point, but you know it still ended, and you're just trying to remember all the good parts, how you still care about that person. You're thinking of the brighter moments that you spent with them. That's why when you're watching the images, it's almost, she's got that angelic light around her, the actress. But there's a lot of images where he's not in the whole angelic lighting too. And for that part where they got the angelic lighting that you're talking about for the actress, if you also notice that like they put the kind of like a soft filter over it. Exactly.
And typically when they do that, it's kind of to give the impression that it's a memory, that he's being nostalgic or recalling something from the past.
Exactly.
That's really
so.
He's good.
Yeah, and it's really about knowing because there's not like an ill will kind of like, oh, I'm saddened that this relationship ended, but this is more, especially in the vocal tones and the whole instruments that go along with it. It very much feels like more of a reminiscent and much of like the good times rather than regretting what's been lost. It doesn't feel like it's regretful. There's kind of a longing feeling of this song, if that makes any sense. And the imagery. Because there could be various reasons why the relationship ended, you know. Like it could be passing or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't really go through the lyrics too much on this song.
I still don't know what the lyrics mean.
Because I was trying to get in all 4 music videos last night. So I'm like, I definitely, like, I know these 4 songs are I'm going to be revisiting from like throughout next week and the week after, and was going to have the album in hands. There's so much more that I want to know about these songs, you know, like gosh, like I seriously give this guy a strong recommendation. You guys ready to move on to the next song from JUNGKEE?
Yeah,
that we want to talk about. So this one, Baby is the title, is classic soul. Just the way his vocals is just his slow, smooth, heartfelt delivery of his vocals were just absolutely gripping for me. This is my personal. I think this is my personal favorite amongst his 4. I know it's a close second, but this one really is really it for me. I think, you know, especially set to that, you know, musical accompaniment. This is really it. This is my kind of song that I would vibe out to, and not just vibe out to, or like just lose myself in it. And for the music video, it's a lot of night shots in the city. You know, it's showing the business of the city, but he's kind of going at a slow pace.
Right.
And I love that. Like, it's an absolute, for me, those are probably like one of my favorite kinds of scenes. Like, for me, that's just absolutely romantic. I love it.
Right. I don't know if you noticed, but if you watch the very beginning of the music video, it does show images from the other music video we just talked about.
They all showing those same scenes. They may not be the exact same clips, but they're from the same scenes.
Yeah. So it's again. So it's a nice way that he's trying to tie in the music videos together, which would kind of, like Nick mentioned before, where, or well, not in this whole situation, but before you got here, like that, it helps you tie all 3 music videos together. You know. 4? Yeah, all 4.
Yeah. So Nick, why don't you take us a bit more to this song?
Well, first off, I think Vincent Blue does a great job here. His voice really, I think his voice really did great. He did like we talked about a little bit. He did another song with Moon, and it was very much the same style. Moon sang the entire song. Here, Vincent sang the entire song. But I think, you know, in my opinion, I really like Vincent's tonality, because it's you know, when you're releasing 4 MVs, people can get very tired of your vocal style very quickly.
Yep.
And when you release something like this, where it's a completely different singer on your track,
with a completely different vocal style too at that.
Right. It adds in a lot of difference.
Oh man, it was so good.
And like we saw with like we saw with Moon, it felt refreshing, even though it's, JUNGKEE's song and it relates to the story and all of that. It felt different. It had a different feeling because Moon was doing something different. It's the same with Vincent Blue here.
Right.
Yep.
If you notice, he uses a lot more air in his voice than JUNGKEE does.
Which is one of those classic aspects of soul vocal deliveries.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. His riffs are also very soul-based riffs, which there is a difference. When you riff in, normal, normal pop, usually they're very quick, because pop moves very fast.
Right.
In soul, they're very slow. They're not balanced, so you'll be on one note longer than a lot of others, and that gives it a lot of character, I guess is the word for it.
Mm-hmm.
Nevertheless, Vincent Blue is an amazing artist. I'm gonna have to look at more of his works because I don't know him, but like I saw in the comments, a lot of people know him.
Yeah, both Vincent Blue and Moon. Like after watching these music videos, like I really want to check out all those other artists.
Yep, I'm definitely have to go on a listening spree here.
Absolutely.
And just listen to all of them. I also found the use of electric guitar here very interesting.
It's
that was an electric guitar.
So it's an electric guitar that they've mixed it, but also they have certain mixers actually applied to the guitar at the moment that make it sound a lot more synthy.
Mm-hmm.
But it is an electric guitar.
Yep. Yeah, and that has been done before for soul. There's a lot of amazing soul songs that do that as well. I think that's an underrated thing too, but like I really do love that.
Yeah, I really like that because it comes in at the end, right? So it gives it a little kind of fleeting kind of feeling.
Yeah.
And you hear it's playing at the end while everything's fading out, and they bring it to the forefront just to have that in your mind, like, oh wow, that was really there.
It was there.
And it was great. That song was great mixing and mastering.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely.
Balancing out an acoustic and an electric guitar together is kind of difficult because an acoustic has a much more wide tonality than like an electric guitar.
Oh yeah, because I mean you got the body
the body that's resonating.
Yep.
And so it's a lot. It's not like the hardest thing in the world to balance, but it's kind of a nuisance sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
because you don't want that overpowering. It can easily overpower. And
if it's if they use real instruments, I don't know if they did here. I didn't really pay that much attention. But if they use real instruments here, they would have recorded in a really, really good sound studio.
Yeah.
Because if you record in a bad sound studio and you try to mix and master it, it's not going to work because you'll get resonance off of weird things.
Yep.
So they definitely, if they use live instruments, they had to go to a really nice studio for it, or they have their own studio for it. I don't know this company, so
Right.
So, want to take us into a bit too on this music video that I love so much.
Well, so this is very much the opposite of lighting, coloring, and all that. This is like you said, this is a much darker tone. Not like not like it's all black kind of thing. It's a darker tone with the whole blue lighting, bluish hue.
Not angsty.
Yeah.
It's not angsty at all. Yeah.
It's definitely not angsty. It not like emo. Gotta wear the whole super dark heavy makeup.
Yeah.
It's more of using the color blue to make a sense of loss and more of like your kind of how should I say this? Almost as if you are missing something in life where you want to go search for it, and it kind of resonates with how he's walking through like you mentioned, slowly through a fast city. And you see that a lot in people who are trying to find themselves in movies, where they are walking fairly slow, but life keeps on moving. You want to slow down, you want to just try to process things. And to you, life is slow, but everything around you, it's still moving ahead.
Yep.
So real quick before we move on here, I noticed in the MV, when looking back on the memories, this time there's a green film applied. Does that have any significance to like the lighter scenes? Because I noticed it was only applied on the lighter scenes. There was this green film applied.
So a lot of times when they apply that green film, I'll use the Matrix as an example. They use that because in the Matrix, they in the scenes where they're in the system, they have a green kind of filter applied over. So in that instance, they're using it to kind of impart like this feeling of what you're seeing is unnatural and synthetic. In other times, when you're applying that green filter, it's kind of going in that same direction, but not really. Kind of trying to focus in more on a different emotion. It's almost kind of what's a better word for it? Or not like exactly like longing. It's those moments was
it's reminiscing almost.
Kind of like reminiscing, yeah. It's kind of like those feelings were too sweet to be true. Kind of like it's kind of creating like a bit of a second guessing as well, like of a feeling that's kind of tinging around that, like man, like that was such an amazing moment, but was it just too good to be true, or
seems very bittersweet.
Something around that. So like
that's probably a word that better fits how we were trying to explain. It's like there's a word, but we seem to forget it.
I'm sure we'll be reminded after we finish recording.
Right?
It always happens. It always happens. Yep.
So
yes, please. Let's
take
us into this next one.
I'll do it. So this video, released June 5th, has 3.5 million views. This is Bangedam of Treasure with his release WAYO, or Why. Describe what you guys saw as I was reacting to it, because you guys got to see me react in real time. Well, about 2 seconds in, I knew you were standing.
You're absolutely right. Yes.
Because the first thing you said was, "Oh, this is interesting. Oh, it's getting better." And then I knew you were hooked. And
you saw me singing along, and just
I'm pretty sure I saw both of you reacting.
Oh yeah. You definitely saw me react.
Yeah, I saw both of you reacting. Because it took I want to say not even a second, and Nick was like, "Oh, I'm loving this." And Nick fell in love in not even a second.
All right, so Nick, what is this musical style for the audience?
This music style is very the best way to explain it is 2013's American pop, early 2010s American pop. This is what this is.
Yeah, and so that's it's with that pop style infused with taking a lot of cues from R&B, right?
Yep.
Because during that era, American pop was really kind of taking a lot of keys from R&B as well.
Yep.
R&B and hip hop. Yep.
And I've seen this compared. I've seen this comparison done a lot, but people have so I know you guys don't know a ton about Bangedam. So Bangedam has been training for 8 years now. He was a part of YG Treasure Group, and he was actually showcased as part of the group back when Stray Kids was doing their I guess survival show. It wasn't really a survival show, but survival show for the lack of a better term. And there was a time where YG had to face off against the JYP group. YG brought Treasure Box, and JYP brought Stray Kids. That being said, so he was there. YG Treasure Box has gone through a lot of stuff. I'm not going to get into it, but
I'm pretty sure everybody already knows
yeah.
at this point.
And Bangyedam has pretty much earned a title, which is basically the Korean Justin Bieber.
That's where I recognize this style. I'm like,
yeah, because doesn't Justin Bieber also take a lot of R&B and soul influence?
Yeah. Well, I don't know about today because I don't listen to American music very much anymore.
Yeah. But
pop.
But I mean, going back to the era where we knew him.
Going back to this, yeah, he took a lot of R&B stuff, and this is very much like what Justin Bieber used to release.
Yep.
If he doesn't still release it already. So yeah, a lot of people are talking about how, you know, this is like kind of the Korean Justin Bieber, where, you know, everyone loves him, and there's not really anybody at this point that, like, it's either you just like are no opinion or you like him, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, and this style that he's using, this vocal style, because he's been known to sing in a couple different vocal styles.
Okay.
This vocal style that he's using is very reminiscent as well of Justin Bieber's vocal style. He also has sung similar vocal styles to like Shawn Mendes, stuff like that. So yeah, it's very much like that early to mid 2010s pop kind of vocal style, which a lot of people are really liking. You know, it's been out of the pop world for a while now, and so I think bringing that kind of sound back. On top of that, you're bringing it back inside of K-pop, where they didn't have that kind of blow up like we did. So I definitely like it. I definitely like the instrumentation more than anything else in the song.
Like especially towards the end, like so after you had like that bridge, and then it just picks up into like almost like a whole nother movement. Like, it was amazing. I loved it. That was such a strong finish.
Yep.
I got so hyped from that. Like, it was at that point. Like, I was already hooked in, and at that point, I'm sold, man. Like, you got me.
Yeah, and I mean, if people grown up with this kind of music like I did, right? It definitely inflicts a feeling of nostalgia.
Right.
You know, because, you know, myself being born in 1998, I grew up around like the R&B type, you know, the soul come through back in the late 2000s, and this, you know, this kind of musical style when I was growing up. So I mean, it definitely has that feeling of like nostalgia, like, oh yeah, this is the kind of music that I grew up with, you know. Which I think makes me love the song even more. As far as that goes, it was almost so chord progression wise, right? It was almost, it's weird because it's very like mid 2010s American pop, but it's almost a completely Korean chord progression, like K-pop chord progression. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm still trying to figure out how it works.
But it works so well.
There's a lot of songs. There's not a lot of songs that baffle me, but this is one of them, because it, you know, usually that type of a fusion where it's, you know, 90% American, usually you want to stick with a more Americanized chord progression to make the song flow better. But yeah, YG was like, nah, we don't do that here. But yeah, so that's a bit on Bangyedam and like the song.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right, so Laura, what do you think about the song?
It was good. It was catchy. It very much feels like how we mentioned Justin Bieber earlier. Feels like one of his earlier songs from when he first debuted. To be honest, I'm not like Nick. I didn't grow up with this kind of musical style. And
nah, you grew up with.
I know. I know where you're gonna go with that. I don't even have. I know where you gotta.
June reacted immediately. I didn't even have to finish that.
Oh man, I gotta.
You didn't even have to start it, and I already knew where you guys were gonna go with this. Okay.
Yeah, I'm wiping off the tears right now.
Yeah, no.
That was amazing.
No, I hate you guys because will always be my first reaction whenever I talk about this. Isn't the kind of song I grew up with, okay? No, I hate you guys because I cannot go through any sentences about growing up without having you guys without thinking, oh, Han Dynasty.
I gotta love the Han Dynasty line.
Oh yeah.
But no, this is for anyone who grew up with Justin Bieber, I very much think that they would very much like this song. Or if they really enjoyed Justin Bieber's old style, but miss his old style, because obviously he's a lot older now. Musical styles change. If they
and even R&B fans in general too.
Right. They would very much like it. Visually,
Yeah.
I can't say there's much, to be honest. It's a sense of where it's unreciprocated love. It's very one-sided. It's that crush where you're like,
yes,
hey, there's this other person I've fallen for, the person I care about, but she doesn't love me, or he doesn't love me, or they don't love me in any sort of way. It could be they only see me as a friend. They're in another relationship. It's why didn't they choose me? Am I not good enough? Am I just, why don't they see me in the same way? And you can visually see it in this music video, and it very much shows that sense of feeling that you're alone, that all you can think about is her. That's why there were all those televisions with the actress being viewed on the television. And don't get me wrong, it tells the story very well that is meant to tell. But visually, it's nothing too dynamic, I would say.
Yeah. So, I to be honest, I was kind of halfway tuned in and out of the video itself because I was just so caught up in the music.
And then
early,
I had to rewatch for the video.
Yeah.
You had to rewatch for the video.
Yeah. I mean, and there's been a few songs like that too, where it's like, I get so caught up in the music. Yeah. Okay. Shoots. I forgot to watch the video itself, and I'd go and watch it. I'm like, every single time, I was like, nah, this song is just way too good. I just keep listening on the video.
I feel that because I'll sit there and I'll listen. I'll be like, all right, video time, and then I'm like, wait, I didn't watch the video.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, all right, video time. And it just repeats.
Yeah, I've done it before where it's like I've watched it 6 times in a row, and I'm like,
still
I watched
focusing on the
6 times
music.
at a time. I still don't even know what the music video,
yeah, or I'll see at the end. I'll be like, wait, there was an actress.
Yeah. So.
I'll be like, wait a minute.
All right. Let's.
I hate you guys so much. It hurts. It hurts.
Let's move it on. So, the group's name is T by T. If you read the Hangul, but
yes.
TXT, just I don't know. It just seems to fit more appropriately. So TXT with Puma. Nick, I think this is really more of your song. So why don't you go ahead and take us in again?
Oh, you think TXT Puma's my song? You'd be completely right. I love this song. This song's amazing, man. So
what's the music style? So I'm picking up on a lot of trap.
There's
heavy.
there's a lot of trap. There is some actual. So it's undertones, but there's some soul undertones, which I really found interesting. And then, but yeah, a lot of it is that trap heavy R&B rap focus. And oh man, I love it. It's so good. Anyway,
so you're like me earlier when I was talking about Junkie.
this is so good. first off, that drum track is fire. Like, that drum track is so good. The first time I heard it, like, I replayed it a few times because I was like, wait, they actually introed the drums like that? I was like, okay. I was like, because after all of these, like, ballads, I was really burnt on ballads. I was very burnt.
Yeah, which there was also a lot of ballads that released this week as well. So.
Oh, yeah. Keep in mind, we cut out, like, half the ballads.
Oh, more than that, I think. I feel like we cut out like 80% of the ballads.
Yeah, like, there was I think this is probably the most MVs we've had in a week as so far.
We had like 13 on our list, and that's not talking about all the Nugu stuff.
And I didn't even include actual Nugu groups this week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I saw how many we already had, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's too much. But yeah, and so I was really burnt out. So this was really refreshing to me. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, I mean, so right now I don't stand TXT. Mm-hmm. Or T by T, or however you want to say it. But right now I don't stand TXT.
Right. Which I'm actually kind of surprised about that.
Yeah, I think a lot of that just comes from, I realize now that I already stand 60 groups. And so adding another one, unless they actually like fully capture my attention, is just not gonna happen. Like right now I'm focused on well, now that I've finished Oh My Girl, I'm focused on WJSN, and so like I have this entire list that I gotta get through, you know. Which,
by the way, I'm really proud of you. You know, Lovely's Oh My Girl, WJSN. I'm proud of you.
Man, stand Oh My Girl. Anyway, so and on top of that, you know, so there was great duality there with the you know, ballads into like this really hard concept. Mm-hmm. But also it wasn't like every other hard song that I've heard, and right. I really liked that as well. There was a lot of mix-ups and stuff that I really enjoyed.
Okay. Oh, so unfortunately for myself, I didn't dislike it. So when it comes to trap, I'm pretty hit or miss when it comes to trap. I would say like going back to, who was the other one that I'm thinking of? Oh, Day Day with Test Me.
Yeah.
So that was also very trap heavy musical accompaniment. I actually really like that kind of implementation. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think here it's the texture of the musical accompaniment for the trap. Yeah. So
it is. It's more used as a textural piece rather than a focus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think that's what it is for me, because I was almost there. You know, there was points of the song where I was just like I'm really getting into this, but like at the same time,
that's what I've noticed for groups is that usually they put their genre more as a texture for the group rather than actually for the, you know, like using it as a song motif.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I think that's what it was for me, and I can't remember. There was other groups from the previous couple weeks where. Like, yeah, I was like, not feeling that one. And again, it just comes back to how they use the trap. So, choreography though, it's what more could you expect from a group like this? Like, their choreography is on point.
Oh yeah,
really, really powerful. Very expressive. And as what most fans would expect out of K-pop, you know, the accuracy of their movements, their timing of their movements, like mm-hmm. it's all there on point. There's a reason why this group is as big as they are already, and they're still in their, I would say, in their rookie phase.
They definitely still in their rookie phase.
Yeah, they're still fairly.
So, Aura, why don't you go ahead and tell us about how much you liked or disliked the video?
So I will say,
you thought I was gonna say how much you hated it.
No, don't put words in my mouth, okay?
But you don't like it though, right?
I never said that. Why? Okay. Y'all are gonna just straight up assume I hate everything. One, I don't hate this song, but it very much pulls from the feline aspect. Obviously, Puma is the song. So it's pulling a lot from the feline aspect. It's handles very much of the nocturnal area because for the most part, felines are known to be Hunt in the Night, Hunt Nocturnally or whatever. So it does feel like give a lot of the feline aspects. You even hear like the whole kind of feline growl in the song. I can't even do it. It sounds weird out of me. And then the dance choreography was very feline-like, with the whole like them making claws and whatnot. And
which was adorable.
It's funny you find it adorable, even though it's supposed to be like a wildcat. And wildcats are known to be kind of the wild,
really vicious.
You
don't want to mess with those things.
Yeah, and it's kind of like a symbol of trying to go against society norms and trying to break away. It's kind of that youthful, like, wanting to break free of things. And you can very much see how they continually want to break free, how they're wanting to fight against the chains, the cages. They just want to break free, and just go wild. It is a very, I want to say, static setting, I want to say, because there's not a lot of movement, there's not a lot of like, like, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, I'm just saying there's not a lot of movement, there's not a lot of camera movement, there's not a lot of stage changes. I think there's maybe 2 primary areas that they are really in, and that's like outside under the moon, in the starry night sky, and in the other being in the cave. Those are, I mean, there are other areas that are shown, but those are the like 2 primary ones. And it's not bad, but it is supposed to try to invoke wanting to be going wild, being whatever. But when it comes to some of the other music videos for Under Big Hit, it just feels like it was short on something.
So the if I wanted to kind of expand upon what you're talking about with the whole staticness of it, we've seen it before. Like, so I'll use the example Mamamoo's Hip, where a lot of their choreography scenes, where they'll kind of like tilt the camera or do a quick zoom in or a quick sweep to kind of help sell the action and dynamicness of their choreography. Secret Number did the same thing as well with their debut. In fact, for Secret Number, for every single one of those scenes, they use an action camera movement to help kind of make those scenes more dynamic. So I think that's part of what is going on here, as well as with this music video, right? Because they didn't incorporate a lot of that.
Yeah, I feel like it could have used a lot of the action sequences, because this feels like it'd be a very action-heavy music video.
Which is typical for boy groups, right? I mean, we see like with MCND, another group that had a release, Victim. So.
If they had scenes where it looked like especially the ones in the cages and the ones with the whole chains, if it looked like that, they were angrier, or if they were fearful.
Yeah, if they kind of did like one of those like camera judders, where it's like they kind of shake the camera a bit for those scenes, kind of help kind of sell that ferocity or of a caged animal. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I think that would have helped sell the music video a lot better. Again, I'm not saying it's a terrible music video. I'm just saying that there are places where it could be improved. Right.
So, Aura, you ready to take us into this next one that I know you've been dying to talk about?
Oh, I've done a reaction of this. It's Twice as More and More. It released June 1st, and
68 million views.
Yeah. 68 million views. Yeah.
Sales wise, it already beat their previous album.
Yeah, they surpassed 200K album sales day one.
Yeah, and I think they were also the fastest charting girl group on Melon for the year.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you
Twice as
don't have Twice release something like almost every couple of months, and just have have Once's wait for like 8 months. It's like
because their last release was Speaking True for the Japanese market.
I think so.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, yeah, Twice has been out of it for a little while.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they got a nice break, and I'm happy for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true.
All right, so Aura, why don't you go ahead and start us off on this song?
So song wise, it's very summery. It's very energetic. Very much feels like I wouldn't say fully like the new style. It feels like it's a compromise between the old, like early Twice and the most recent Twice releases, where it's got a high energy, but it's also not like super cutesy. It's very much almost not mature, not cutesy. It's that in between. And it very much, and the song itself also has the sound of desire, of more and more. I wouldn't say it's a overly complicated song though. It's not something that is. I think Nick would definitely be able to explain it better than I would when it comes to musically. I'm just saying.
So the reason why I had you start off with the song, have you started off with the song, as of Once, you know their discography, you know their music, and you actually did a pretty good job with that. Even though you're kind of out of your comfort zone with that, you actually hit a lot of my talking points that I was also going to bring up as well.
Yeah.
So with that, Nick, why don't you go ahead and carry us on further?
So, first, I'm not a fan. Right, I'm not a Once.
Mm-hmm.
This song is not my style.
Right.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, it samples from too many different genres at once, and has a hard time setting its own style.
I had a hard time with that, trying to figure that out myself too. Because
Aura saw my reaction to this, and at the start I was like, oh, because I thought this was gonna go very like Oh My Girl ethereal vibe at the beginning.
Yep.
And then it switched to very summer, and then it went kind of back, and you know, it. In my opinion, it couldn't really set a tone. And then the drop break was just kind of completely random. So, in my opinion, I don't like the song, but what they're doing almost seems very similar to like an ITZY style,
right? Where
ITZY doesn't have a genre,
right?
It's just everything kind of mashed together, and you call that a song. And I noticed that when I was reacting to it the first time, I was like, this is like, if you threw more heavy synths on this, made it a little more trap, it could be kind of an ITZY song, you know? So I think definitely their choice to go very much like kind of this all around style, I think stems a lot from them trying to mash together, like Or said, their old styles.
Right.
For a lot of groups it works. But if you've had a lot of style changes, it can be a little weird. Twice hasn't, so it works. Yeah,
and it's funny that the three of us can all agree on that part where there is that kind of mashing up with their old style and their new style.
Yeah, because I mean, I was a Once at one point. It was quite a while ago, but I was a Once at one point. And then just as their style changed, I just casually fell out because I didn't like their new style as much. That being said, though, I think this definitely does have a lot of good things about their old style. The catchiness is obviously there,
right?
While also not maintaining an overly catchy style like Twice used to be,
right?
as we remember with stuff like TT and Cheer Up and stuff like that.
We have
So-
very different opinions, overall opinions on the song itself, or I say what we choose to focus in on to talk about for the song. Because like for myself, the music, yeah, it is very. I had a hard time like, okay, so you kind of hear some of that tropicalness, or well, a lot of that tropicalness, but then also like, okay, there's some like feelings of like EDM, dubstep,
Mm-hmm.
especially at the drop, right?
Very, very house, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Like tropical house.
I didn't really like the musical company at first. Going back to like what I was talking about with TXT's Puma and the texture. I just wasn't feeling that. I did kind of more accept it, where it's like, okay, this song could almost work for me. Just a couple of things that just that just didn't really get me. So like going with the hook, right? That more and more and more. The song has a very mature, well, not very, but has kind of a mature feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
The imagery has a lot of sensual, alluring, mature feel to it.
And that's something I'd very much be happy to get into more after after you talk more into your part.
So what kind of threw me off, or I guess what did throw me off was with the more and more. It kind of summons up that old Twice that we're used to, right? With that bright cheeriness. And I guess the backdrop of this song, it almost feels like kind of like children are chanting it into the song, which I think if they sung that in a bit of a lower register that's still comfortable for them, it would have changed the entire character of the song to be much more, I guess, kind of sexy. And like I think that alone would have changed up the character of the song just very much. And I think I would have liked it a lot more if they just did that, with just that one simple tweak. Because otherwise, like the musical accompaniment, I think paired with that, I think it would have. I think I would have liked the song a whole lot more. Now that drop, I didn't like the drop at all.
Okay.
Yeah. So usually for a lot of Twice songs, some of the things I really really love is when Diane and Jian come in with their rap. It starts off strong here. I'm like, yeah, okay, now it's kind of moving into the song, but then it just cut off abruptly without a really good transition for me.
Yeah.
So it came, the rap came and it went, and I was, kind of left disappointed there. Music video. As far as the composition of the music video itself, I felt like it was a lot of, we've seen this already in the past couple months. I will say that dance platform that they had in the middle of the water, that was really cool. That I absolutely thought that was really really interesting. But otherwise, and that's not to say it's a bad video. It's just everything's like really really high quality that you would expect from JYP.
Right.
Coming from the camera work, the quality of the lens, the quality of the lighting, their makeup, their everything. Like it was just very 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 high quality. You would come to expect that from Twice.
Yeah.
So
When
Aura, go ahead.
so when it comes to the music video, there's, I want to say 3 points that I want to highlight. Now, a lot of people have mentioned this in comments through their own reaction video. It very much reminisces of the Garden of Eden theme, with the forbidden apple, the snake, and the area of seclusion that the girls are in. But for me, I also felt like a sense of, and then the girls themselves have talked about their clothing style being inspired by hippies, a very hippie style.
Yeah.
I want to make a further connection with nymphs, where nymphs are very playful. They are wood like, I want to say Nordic. I might be wrong on the mythology on that, but it's it's Greek. Whatever. But they'll play for wood spirits. They are very secluded. They are put away, but they're also fun. In some mythologies, they are known to be fun wood spirits, and I think that's why having the whole summery vibes, the whole higher tones fits a lot better, because they are kind of the whole nymph-like. But at the same time, nymphs are very sensual. They are very attractive. They are very all of this that would bring attraction from like the fans or whatever. And having the Garden of Eden theme and them kind of being secluded and in their own little world, but having them take the bite of the forbidden apple, they're venturing out into in a sense they could be being kicked out of the Garden of Eden, where they're venturing out into a new world, but because they are still like the nymphs, they are still the fun-loving people, like nymphs. They are nymphs that they would be. So, and I think that's kind of how I'm interpreting it. Other people could very much interpret it a different way, but because of those three combinations, I can also see why they're going towards a certain musical style. And then I also know, I'm not sure if you guys noticed this, but for the Dahyun and Chaeyoung's rap, every time that they kind of make a sharp movement, they did a clothing change with using lighting and all that. I found that really impressive myself. For the transition.
They also had like all those old school camera prism effects overlaid as well. Kind of helps tell that magicalness of the scene.
Right, and I think that very much fits in with the whole like nymph and well, I really have a difficult time pronouncing that word. And the whole Garden of Eden theme.
Yeah, for me, I saw that as like another throwback to that era, because so like the hippies era kind of goes back to like the 60s, 70s, and during that time when music videos were starting to become a thing, they're experimenting with a lot of different camera work. So some of those effects that we saw in this music video, they spammed it a lot in like older music videos of that era.
Right. And it also brings back that reminiscent of those music videos, or even the usage of in movies that are basically based on that time period, like the 70s time period, you know. Although I will say, one of my first thoughts are, oh yeah, Nick can't see any of this. Color.
Classic Twice.
Yeah.
And that's definitely not to insult Twice or anything, but it's something I've become more aware about when I'm watching music videos now. Is like, I'm thinking, how well is it adapted to colorblind people? Like, let's say.
I mean, that's hard though, because there's different kinds of colorblindness.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. The only way to really fully adapt it to all types of colorblindness is to make it in black and white.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Because there's literally a type of colorblindness that is literally black and white. So that's what you're limited to.
Yeah. But, yeah.
All right. Man. I mean, I know, like, Aura and I can go so much more longer about talking about Twice. And you know, for myself, this isn't the first time I didn't like a Twice song. Like, I still love them a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean,
and Aura and I have argued about this before too.
Yeah. I mean, I do like this song. For me, it feels like it's a improvement over their last summery song, which was, I want to say, Dance the Night Away.
Dance the Night Away.
I would definitely make it a little bit higher because I feel like the song accompaniment is a bit more complex. And
Yeah,
the
this
music
wasn't very, yeah.
I feel like it's more complex than some of their other releases. I do agree that the whole Daeun and Chaeyoung's kind of rap part was cut too abruptly instead of having it smoothly transition. I very much agree on that. And there are definite improvements that could have been done, but this definitely feels like a style that they're trying to see if they can go in. And you know, if it works for them, I'd say try it out some more.
But you know what? At least try something different.
Yeah.
So, because we definitely spoke a lot longer about some of the other music videos on this week, looks like we have to skip on over to our quick shots or quick shot with Aura.
Wait,
I'm pretty sure.
Hold on. Hold on. We gotta. You're trying to skip this, aren't you? We still gotta do our MV of the week, choice of the week.
Yeah, what are you doing, bud?
How am I supposed to pick though?
Roll a dice.
Nah, you know what? Bangidam WAYO was so close, was absolutely close. And I think if I had seen it earlier in the week and I had more time to digest it, it may edge out to be like my top pick of the week. But I think we'll have to go with JUNGKEE's Baby.
Wait. Can I say something?
What's up?
Nick and I didn't have to egg you to be the first one to actually make a pick this time.
He's making improvements.
Right? He's making...
Well, because I didn't want you guys influencing my pick either for this one. So...
Hey, Aura, what's your MV of the week, bud?
Oh, I wonder what this is gonna be.
I wonder what this could be.
There's actually two I really want to say. There's two I really...
Go for it.
Because obviously the Once in Me would say More and More, obviously. But the other one is actually going to be... what was it? We decided not to talk about this one.
Oh man, that's a lot of things.
Right?
That's a lot of them.
I'm trying to remember the title.
I mean, there's
River of Tears from...
No.
From High to Goodbye.
Victim.
Test Me.
It was Victim.
Okay, Mayday.
Victim's Mayday?
Yeah.
That was a good one. Yeah.
I was like, oh, we dropped like 12 almost 12 things. I'm trying to remember, I'm going through the library of what we dropped. But Victim and Twice are probably my two.
Victim was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It
so, was
Nick.
the setting was very beautifully done.
So Nick.
Well, mine is probably the easiest choice that I've had in a while. I'm gonna pick one we didn't talk about this week. JUNGKEE Jin and Han Dong-gun released a song called West Sea, and it was a live clip. That was released on 1K June 3rd. Has like 12,000 views. Make sure you go watch it, please.
Well, I have noticed too. When it comes to ballads lately, your taste has been kind of trending more and more towards like the more mature sounding. Ballads.
I mean, it's also Han Dong-gun, who's my favorite, literally my favorite soloist. Probably my favorite artist in K-pop.
Oh wow!
Like above SIS.
Whoa!
Like yeah.
Whoa!
Like,
Hold on.
Like I'm not joking. I don't. He's not like my alt, right? Because like you know, my alt really pertains to groups for the most part for me. But yeah, he's probably the artist that I like follow closely the most.
Okay.
Whoa!
I mean, I've been listening to him since debut.
Nice.
And so like, you know, he's went through some stuff, and like, so I've been there before it all. And usually when artists go through hard times like that, it only like deepens my respect for the artist.
Yeah.
Probably also why I'm a Nugu masochist. But so yeah, probably the artist I'm definitely my favorite artist. So make sure you go check that out. Also go check out all of Han Dong-gun's other stuff. He's got like a ton of albums. So.
And you know, if if you want to see everything that we couldn't cover today, join us
It's
in
gonna be
our
in the
Discord too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a lot. All right, we think about time to get to our quick shots.
Yeah.
Yep. Quick shots with
go ahead.
Aura.
Go ahead, Aura.
Oh, okay. So this is a little. There's quite a few sad news that's happened.
Don't do that to us.
Hey, leave me alone, because it's had to happen. Watanabe Mayu, she was an idol for AKB48. She was a third generation member. She debuted at around age 12. That was 14 years ago, so she's 26 now. Yeah. Right? 14 years. She left AKB, I want to say 3 to 4 years ago. I don't remember exactly when. She graduated from the group, became an actress, focused on being an actress, did a little bit of voice acting work here and there. She has actually decided to leave the entertainment business altogether, terminated her contract, and and this is because she wanted to focus on her mental health. And as much as it hurts me as someone who's seen her grow, who's seen her debut, who's seen her do so many different kinds of works, it hurts a little bit. But her mental health comes first, and she should very much take care of herself.
Right on.
And
So, what other news you got?
I mean, I have a ton of other news, but still not good.
Do we have any happy news?
I do.
All right, Nick, take it away.
Well, BTS made history again. They made history as their song DNA became the first Korean boy group MV to surpass 1 billion views.
Billion.
All right.
Billion. So if you don't know, this is, I believe, the 4th song now to reach 1 billion views. First, obviously, was Psy's Gangnam Style.
Mm-hmm.
Then Psy's Gentleman made 1 billion views. And then the third was Blackpink's Doo 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 back in November of 2019. And now it is BTS's DNA, which released September 18th, 2017. So it took just over 2 years. 8 months and like 13 days.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's a good piece of news to wrap this up with.
Yeah. All right. I'll go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you for watching. This has been Outstanding. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Click that bell icon if you want to see when we upload in the future. Thanks to our sponsor that doesn't actually sponsor us, Gilliam Honey Butter Mixed Nuts. We have a Discord. Make sure you join that. You can interact with us there, and you can also see kind of snippets of what we talk about or before we actually post. Yeah, we have a Twitter. Make sure you go follow that too. Thank you, and we will see you